This is Kathy Biehl of Empowermentunlimited.net with Astro-Insight for the week of February 19, 2018. Shock waves will continue to radiate out for weeks, probably months, from last week's solar eclipse, new moon in Aquarius. My shorthand description of that event is that it knocked us upside the head. Lightning bolts piercing our brains, our hearts, making us look at life in a very different way than we have. We are being freed from ways in which we have perceived life and being shaken into a new and different way. And a lot of it has to do with nurturing and with tribal definitions, who we consider to be our pack. On a mundane, collective level, the United States is very much revisiting its definition of itself as a people. And on an individual level, each of us is coming to grips with what our appropriate social network is from here on out. And how are you yourself in the midst of a group of people? One of the pieces of fallout from last week was, and is, an immediate awareness of what really matters to you. And it's kind of bittersweet, it's kind of sad, but it's also strangely beautiful, and that colors the entire week. This week will finally feel like Valentine's in a way that last week didn't. The two rulers of love, Venus and Neptune, mere mortal love and the highest possible love, are meeting in the sign of Pisces on the 21st. Venus is said to be exalted in the sign of Pisces. She sees God in everyone. She looks for experiences that are unhooked from ordinary, boring old reality. This is the placement for ultimate connection with the divine, ultimate artistry. This is also a massive formula for making a wish, and that is what I invite you to do. Make wishes for what you really value, what you love in a non-monetary way. A lot of people last week suddenly became aware of the preciousness of certain individuals in their lives, particularly parents with a renewed appreciation for their children. And for other people, the experiences of the middle of the week, another single Valentine's Day, another disappointing Valentine's Day, brought to consciousness a new awareness of what it is you actually want to experience with another person in your life. Focus on the energy of that. Do make wishes this week. By the end of the year, Mars will have the same meeting with Neptune. Mars is Venus's consort. He is our drive. He's how we go out and get what we want. So there's a year-long story arc for Venus and Mars coming up. Now, later in the week, they have a headbutt situation, which will bring a kick, a feeling of, okay, it's time to get moving, probably in some situation directly in your life. But as that is building, our thinking begins to stabilize after the whack upside the head that we got last week. We start to see contours, new parameters, new ways we can approach things, or maybe just simply find points of stabilization and find ourselves working toward that. You might feel like you've got your grounding back, you've got your own balance point back, your feet, your thinking, your sense of yourself all a little firmer by the middle of the week, which is good because that's followed with a day of not feeling particularly comfortable. I use the word squidgy for this. That's the 23rd. Probably the most optimistic way to look at it is to think of what happens with an oyster when it has sand in it and the sand irritates it and irritates it. It makes a pearl. So we're making pearls this week as well. And as we get into the weekend, there's a very strong sense of something's got to move, something's got to give. Our hearts want action. They want something to move, to see some progress. And oddly, that vibe corresponds with Mercury meeting with Neptune. So the ruler of our mind meeting with the most non-linear, formless, non-rational influence in the sky. Dreams could be really instructive. You might simply grok situations. This might bring a sense of knowing that you can't logically explain in the slightest. Could be blissed out. It could be massively escapist, and you won't care. And after some of the things that have been happening lately, we all probably are overdue for some safe and gentle escapism. Do watch out for the possibility of being deluded or blinding yourself, however. The homing thought of the week: the best things in life aren't things. The song of the week: When You Wish Upon a Star, sung by the ever-so-delightful Jiminy Cricket in the Walt Disney animation of Pinocchio. And the image of the week is staring at clouds and daydreaming. If you'd like to learn more about all this, visit my site, Empowermentunlimited.net, where you can review my forecast for last week's solar eclipse, sign up for my mailing list, and get a copy of my Jupiter and Scorpio quick reference guide as a thank you, and book a session with me. Talk to you next week.